Jag sitter med vin. Det är inte
Jag kan också göra det.
Testa mitt intro nu.
Ja.
Vet du vad mitt intro är?
Hej guys!
Ja, jag klarar.
Eller? Det är väl typ det. Hej guys!
Hi friends and welcome back to my channel. I have a special guest today.
Hi!
It's Steffi!
Yes!
Perhaps you've seen, maybe not, I don't know. But I recently, hopefully, published a couple of Edinburgh vlogs because me and Steffi went to Edinburgh together.
Yes.
And of course we did some book browsing, book shopping. There is a vlog for that, so like a come book shopping with us sort of video. But today I thought that we would actually share the books we purchased. Like,
Yes.
we would talk about the books we hauled basically. And also like the shops, what we thought of them, all of that.
Because we went to quite a lot of shops.
We did, I think we
Several
went
times.
like 7 bookstores or something. What was your favorite bookstore in Edinburgh that we went to?
I really like Golden Hair actually. Golden Hair, Rare Birds. I like the smaller ones, I guess.
I liked Blackwell's because I felt like they had the best selection and the best prices.
Yeah, they did.
I also really liked Topping & Co. I did not purchase anything there, but I liked how it looked and like that they had a lot of signed books and stuff. Typewriter was super cozy. I liked Lighthouse and I really liked Rare Birds because of their concept of like showcasing women, LGBTQIA plus authors and so on. I did like Golden Hair, but I felt like that selection was quite small and quite
You
specific.
mentioned Typewriter on your like the
Yeah,
first
but, like,
part of your list.
I was gonna-
Typewriter was even worse.
I was gonna include that. Typewriter and Golden Hair had a more...
Selection.
yeah, exactly.
It was a selection. You could say.
Yeah.
But they were very well chosen.
Yeah.
Very
Like they
well
were super
chosen.
nice to walk around in, and like I got why they had the selection that they
Yeah.
had. It's just like it depends on why you go to the bookstore.
Yeah.
If you're looking for a specific book, or if you just want a vibe, or
Like
stuff
browsing.
like that. Yeah.
Browsing, I felt like I agree with you.
Yeah.
I think Blackwell Books was like the best for just browsing, and they had really good like new selection.
And we also went actually to Waterstones on
Yeah.
our last day.
It was
Obviously,
really
they have a
pretty.
good selection.
It was really pretty. They had a lovely cafe that we didn't go to, but the view was of the castle.
Now we're gonna talk about the books we purchased, and we're gonna do them chronologically, so like the order that we got them, and we will mention which bookstore we got them from and why we wanted to get them and all of that fun stuff. I think the first store where we actually purchased something was Typewriter on the first day.
Yeah.
Do you want to share what you got?
Yes, I had a goal in mind. We went to like several bookstores. I saw this book. I was like, no, I'm not gonna buy it here. I will buy it at Typewriter. I did not know that the selection was so slim. It was really cozy, but yeah, not a lot to pick from. But I found the exact book that I wanted to buy from that store, and it was Our Wives Under the Sea. I'm not actually sure what this book is about. I think it's about a woman whose wives goes... Is it on a submarine thingy? She goes under the sea, she comes home, she's changed. And yeah, it's apparently really good. I've heard a lot of good things about this.
Yeah, it's a fairly recent release, I think.
Yeah.
And why did you want to get it at Typewriter?
I wanted to get it there because when you buy a book at Typewriter, you get a little stamp.
Yeah.
So, and I felt like this was a book that I think it looks lovely. Like I wanted it in hardback as well. So I was like, yeah, I think this could be a nice one to get a stamp in and stuff. So it's a bit special that way.
It's really pretty.
It is really pretty.
I also got a book at Typewriter. The book I got was A Psalm for the Wild Build by Becky Chambers. This is a book I've already read actually, but the thing is, it's so wholesome, it's so cute, and like I wanted to get something from Typewriter because of the stamp, as Steffi mentioned. I can show it here as well. This is the stamp. Also, you get to choose like an origami piece.
Yeah.
I have mine here actually. So I chose a dragon, so I got a little dragon as well with that.
Yeah.
So I wanted to buy something from that store, but I couldn't really find something new that I was excited about. But I've been eyeing this one in other stores we went to as well. It's so wholesome, it's so cute. It's about this monk and a robot, and they sort of become friends, and they like, it's a short, quick, wholesome read. It's very hopeful. And I felt like this is definitely a book I can reread. And it will just make me smile. So that's why I got it. And those were our first buys.
Yeah,
right?
and are they the only ones that we bought hardback as well?
Yeah, I think so, actually.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Fancy.
Yeah.
And I also got one of those origami pieces.
But
a
you
frog.
got, yes, exactly.
To match the vibe. I actually asked in the store, which one should I get? Skål.
Next shop.
Yeah, I think...
It's only you.
Yeah, it's only me. I wanted to buy a book at Lighthouse. This has been on my...
Want to read
in my Adlibris basket.
Yeah, in your cart.
In my cart, for a little while. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And it is Beasts of a Little Land. And it's about, I think, a girl in South Korea during, I think it is the First World War, I'm not sure. I've heard good things about this one as well. I think it looks really lovely. I think I found it when Charlotte was hosting the Olympics.
Oh!
Because I was looking for a book with a lot of colors to match, the Olympic flag.
Nice.
Yeah, so, and this one had a lot of colors.
It's really pretty.
It is really pretty.
I like the cover a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. I think this is her debut. I'm not sure. Maybe.
It's translated, right?
It's. I think so. I think it's originally in Korean. I actually have no clue, but I'm looking forward to this. I think it will be a really nice read.
Next up,
is it you? It's both
it's
of us.
us. We went to Blackwell's.
Yeah.
And we decided to challenge ourselves, where basically at Blackwell's they had this buy 3 pay for 2 sort of deal for a lot of books, not all of the books, but many of their paperbacks. Buy 3 pay for 2.
Yeah.
So what we wanted to do first was we wanted to go into that store and buy each other a book as a sort of surprise. And then we ended up having a lot of, what's the word, like anxiety about it, or we couldn't really decide. Yeah. So we decided to buy each other 2 books instead.
Yeah.
So we both did the 3 for 2 deal, but 2 of the books that we purchased was for the other person, basically.
Yeah.
And we were supposed to film our reveal of like sharing the books. We never really did because we were just so excited about giving each other the books, basically. Yeah. We're gonna talk about the books we got, both for the one we got for ourselves, but then also the books we got for each other and why we decided to give them to each other, basically.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Long story long.
Which was your pick for yourself?
Yeah, for myself, I decided to get Shaggy Bane by Douglas Stewart, and the reason why I wanted to get this one is because he is apparently a Scottish author, and I've started to think that perhaps I should actually try and read more literature from the places I go, and this is a very famous and popular book, so like I recognized it, so I thought that hey, might as well try and like be a proper tourist and get a book from a local, or I think it's from Glasgow, but kind of local. I don't know much about this one at all. I think it's plays out in like the 80s or something, and it's about this guy and his relationship to his mother or something. I've seen it being compared to A Little Life.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite heavy.
So
yeah,
we're gonna see how that goes. I love A Little Life though, so it's sort of promising. But actually, you're the one who's gonna read it first.
Yeah, it's my book club for work. So I'm gonna take this one and add it to my pile.
What did you get for yourself?
I got this one, Lonely Castle in the Mirror, and it seems like it's kind of urban fantasy. I'm not quite sure, but yeah, I loved the the cover. So, and I thought it sounded kind of interesting when I read the back, so I got it. I was mostly convinced by the cover and the name.
Is it another translated one?
Yeah, this is a Japanese book. And then we have the books that Charlotte chose for me.
Yeah.
So she got me The League of Gentlewomen Witches. This one. I've already started reading it, but I'm only like 70 pages in. So, and then she got me The Gardener. And why did you choose these books for me?
So the first book I saw was actually The Gardener, and that was mainly because of the cover. I have no clue what it is about. Okay, I read the backside after that. But the thing is, basically, Steffi likes I don't want to say boring books, but
books.
slow books.
According to her.
She enjoys reading slice of life,
Yeah.
slow books,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. The things that I don't typically enjoy. So I saw this book and was like, doesn't look like it's something for me. It's probably something for Steffi then.
Yes.
And it's sort of about, I think it's about two sisters. One sister lives in London and has like a life in high finance and something. The other sister is working on a long neglected garden.
Yeah, she
And I was like, that
tends to-
sounds like Steffi's dream. Perfect. So that's why I got this one.
Basically, I love it. I think it looks lovely. When I read the back, I was like, I could have picked this up. So yeah, this was spot on.
Yeah.
So
This
yeah.
one I got because I wanted something more fun and exciting, and basically Steffi loves everything and anything with witches in it,
Yeah.
kind of. So I saw witches on the in the title, and then I read the back, and there were two words that caught my eye. We have the word witches, obviously, and then it says pirate as well. And I was like, a book about a witch and a pirate? Perfect. That's all it took. I have no clue what it is about other than that. But like, pirate, witch, we're done. I'm getting it.
Yeah. So far, it's kind of sweet. I like it. It's very much. It's kind of insta love.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's quick. I started reading it on the plane back home to Sweden.
The two books I got from Steffi. I got Assembly by Natasha Brown, and then also A Magic Steeped in Poison by Judy I. Lin. These are the two books that Steffi picked for me.
My reasoning behind my choices were like, this seems like a book that Charlotte would read. This is like right up your alley with like fantasy, a bit of Chinese kind of tradition, legend thingies and stuff.
Legend figures. Mythology.
Mythology, yeah, exactly, mythology. Yeah, well, it's about like magic and tea. Like, there is magic in the tea. Yeah, magical art of tea making. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, this sounds perfect.
And that one is actually on my want to read as well on Goodreads. So
first I saw this book and I was drawn in because I apparently love pink. I love that cover. It's gorgeous. So I was like, I was instantly drawn, and then I read the back of it and I was like, oh, it seems kind of like something Charlotte would pick.
I see now that you removed the stickers from your books. I haven't.
Yeah, I think you could get some footage of that, me sneakily.
Oh, you did it now? I was like, oh, she came prepared.
No. Yeah, so I kind of...
Okay, good.
Yeah, I over-explained this, but yeah, so that was my reasoning behind it. And this one, I actually found it when I was browsing at Lighthouse Books, and I was like, oh, this seems like a book that Charlotte should read, because we were thinking of doing this challenge before.
Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, I think it sounds really good. And then I found it with this deal. So I was like, yeah, perfect. And it seems like it's a bit, how do you say it, contemplative. You know, thinking about life, the current situation, being like in your 20s, not really sure about where you're going. And it seemed like a bit of a weird book. Like, this is something I would definitely read. So I was like, okay, this sounds a bit like, yeah, I think Charlotte would be... I didn't know if you would like it, so this was for me a bit like of a leap, but...
A wild card.
A wild card, definitely.
Doing great, sweetheart.
Thank you.
I just wanted to add that this book, like, I am very excited about this one, actually.
Yeah.
I'm very intrigued by it, because it looks quite weird with, like, how it's formatted as well. Like, it's very short.
Yeah.
Perfect for a readathon. But also, like, just
Very
how it's written is so off in some ways. This is quite a gamble, though, because this might very well be, like, a 1-star.
Yeah.
It can be a 2-star. It can be a 4-star. I have no clue.
Yeah, I
I think that's because of that I'm very excited, actually.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
Jack Edwards, also a booktuber, is it?
Yeah.
His name Jack Edwards.
Yeah. But we have very different
Yeah,
tastes.
that's the thing. He gave this like 5 stars, I think, and I was like, oh, maybe Charlotte won't like this, but I like the cover as well. I think it looks really cool. And
I like
it's
it.
short.
I am definitely intrigued by this.
Yeah.
And I can definitely relate to feeling lost at your mid-20s, so...
Sorry, it wasn't a diss
No,
or a dig
no
at
worries,
all.
no worries.
I'm also lost in my mid-20s, so it's the current situation.
Next shop
Yeah, our next shop is that we actually bought something was Golden Hair books.
Yeah.
And I bought a pin.
Yeah.
I will lead with that one because I actually bought the Golden Hair books pin.
It's a nice pin.
It is.
It was a nice store.
It was a really lovely store. They had like a little fireplace, and the selection was a lot slimmer, but it was
fun.
Very well curated.
One thing I talked about during this trip is I want to try and get more into, what is it called, like short stories and anthologies. So basically when there are multiple short stories in one book. And I decided to pick up a particular book for this one, and that's Things We Say in the Dark by Christy Logan. And what's fun with this one is that the cover sort of reminds me of Midnight Sun. We all know I love the Midnight Sun cover. It just sounded like an interesting time. And I've been reading more horror lately, so I'm even more positive to this. But what was so much fun was when I went to the clerk in the shop and was about to pay for my book. He basically said that this is one of the creepiest things he's ever read.
Yeah.
Or something along those lines.
Basically.
And I was like, oh, I just wanted to dip my toes into this. I didn't want to like dive in. Because he was like, oh, this is messed up. This is so creepy. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. So I'm both excited and kind of scared. But I think I'm leaning towards excited for this one. So yeah, that's fun at least. So I'm getting more into anthologies, hopefully.
I bought this one. And I'm halfway through it. And it's called Hex. It's also by a Scottish author. It takes place in Edinburgh. And it's author signed. So I feel... I was actually looking at this book at Lighthouse.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, well, maybe I'll find it later. We'll see if I'll buy it. Yeah. And then I found it at Golden Hair with the signed edition little sticker. And I was, sold. And it's about witches as well. It's about time-traveling witches. Or one time-traveling witch to another witch who's about to get hanged during the witch trials in Edinburgh. So, yeah. And
that's cool.
Yeah, it is quite cool. It's not just a simple read, basically. It feels like it's like differently paced and kind of like short sentences with longer sections as well. I had to take a pause because there's been quite a lot of stuff happening at work, but yeah, I'm just tired. But so even though it's kind of short, I feel like to appreciate it, I have to be in the right like mind space for it. So yeah, headspace. So you bought one more book that you haven't introduced.
Yeah, exactly. So I also got at Golden Hair The Splendid City, and this one caught my eye mainly because of the cover, and then I also read the back. I don't know much about the back, but it's sort of like it's here in very tiny text. It's sort of like buzzwords for what's in the book sort of thing. I don't know, I've never seen this on a book before, but it's very tiny here. And it basically says, file under liberty for all, water is beautiful, ice everywhere, and standing for Stan. And the thing is, Stan is a character in here. So I thought that was hilarious, and that's why I got the book, because it seemed like it can be a very funny book. Also, someone has made a blurb like, thoroughly original and quirky novel. And I was like, a funny book. Might as well.
There's a cat with a gun on the front.
Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here.
Yeah.
I think it's like a dystopia where like there's not really free speech, water is rationed, so on, so on. Eleanor, a rebellious young witch, has been put under house arrest with her lecherous co-worker Stan, who loves craft beer, fish tacos, and shooting people. And I think somehow she turns Stan into a cat, or there's a talking cat somewhere. It seems like a very random book, but it also seems like it can be a good time. So that's why I picked it up.
And there's a witch on the cover. I love it.
Of course you do.
And then I think we have introduced our next two books.
If you want to see like the first reaction to that, we did that in the comic book shopping vlog. But basically, at Golden Hair, they have this thing where you've probably seen it at a bunch of other places as well. But they wrap the book and just write some sort of description for it on like a tag. So you don't really know what the book is. You can't really see the cover. You can't judge the book by the cover, basically. And we both got one of those each.
I got one that the blurb was like, it's queer, weird, fierce, blah 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 blah. I don't really remember, but you can watch it. My reaction and everything in the other
queer, something women, something fierce, something.
The front says queer, dirty, insightful, and so funny. Cohen stories rewire the brain. It's Sarahland. And I am actually not sure what this is about. I've read the back. I've read I've read about it on Goodreads. I have no clue what this is about, but someone said like it's just like nasty, dirty lesbians. Or something. And I was like, yeah, sounds great. I will love this. Basically.
Is that in like a review?
Yeah. I think so. I actually really love how this looks. It's not, yeah.
It's very neon. So, if you had seen this one in a bookshop,
Yeah.
would you have picked it up? Would you have been intrigued? Or would you have skipped it? Like, did this sort of not judging the book by its cover work or not?
I don't think I would have bought it because I'm still not sure what it's about. And usually I want to feel like there's like a story or something I can follow. It seems like it's a weird book. And I love weird books. So I think this is... I think I'm going to enjoy this, but I wouldn't have picked it up myself, basically.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm quite happy with that.
You should be.
Yeah.
The book I got from Golden Hair that was wrapped, it basically said something about it being funny and about it featuring the Korean Space Force.
Yeah.
And that sort of caught my eye. Like, how can this feature the Korean Space Force? The book ended up being Launch Something by Bae Myung-hun. Bae Myung-hun.
Bae Myung-hun.
And it's a book translated from Korean, so it suddenly makes sense that it features the Korean Space Force. And it's a dystopia, I believe. Earth is experiencing a sweltering heat wave caused by a second sun, a shining object in the sky that either looks like Pac-Man or a piece of slice. It's a sci-fi novel about Korean Space Force, and it's like a political satire. So another funny book, basically. When we were in the bookshop, they had this one on display as well, so I did have a look at it. It's really cool, actually. I am excited. I want to get more into sci-fi. I want to read more translated works.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was a good pick. I'm not certain, once again, if it's something I would have picked up myself, especially because I actually saw this one in the bookstore and I didn't pick it up. But, I don't know. I think it's fun.
I want to read this book.
I think it can be fun.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Let me borrow it.
Yeah, sure.
Before we went to Waterstones, we passed by a bookstore where we didn't buy anything. It was on our way from Golden Hair Books.
Yeah.
We passed by a bookstore that was called Books of Rare Birds. And it was basically a bookstore where they featured a lot of women authors. And yeah, it was really cool. And I found a book that I didn't buy because I was like, I've already bought so many books.
We had bought like 7 books at this point.
Yeah, my bag was getting heavy. I was like, I will not buy this book, and I really regret it right now because it was really pretty. Something fresh flowers in it. It was about like a woman who, did she work at a graveyard in France?
I don't know.
Sounded very like slice of life, lovely. The front cover of the book was pastel, like violet. It was actually a really nice bookstore. If it had been on our list, like from before, maybe I would have been prepared.
Yeah.
Actually bought the book.
Final book shopping that was made on this trip, during this trip, is we went to Waterstones on our final day, and I purchased 2 more books because I could not be tamed. The first book I got was Horror Store. Depends if you pronounce it in Swedish or English. Basically, this is a book by Grady Hendrix. He writes like horror, and this is a book sort of inspired by IKEA. And I feel like as a Swede, I need to read this. It's also like, it's formatted like an IKEA catalog. I have been eyeing this book. I've been meaning to get it for over a year now, I think, actually. It was actually quite well priced. So I do think I got it cheaper than if I would have ordered it back in Sweden. So I'm very happy with that. And now I finally have this. I have heard mixed things about this one, I think. But I think it will be fun because it's IKEA.
I feel like even if you don't read it, it's really fun that you have it.
Yeah, it's basically like... It doesn't say it's IKEA, but it's a furniture store in Cleveland. And it's very much inspired by IKEA. Like, it's the same font and all of that.
Yeah.
It really looks like an IKEA catalog, so that is very fun. And then my final book purchase of this trip is The Fellowship of the Rings, the first book in the Lord of the Rings series. I've never read this series before. I don't think I've even seen the movies, to be honest.
I've only seen 2.
I've seen the first one, but I don't remember it. I felt like Edinburgh, or Scotland, or at least Edinburgh, is sort of like a hub for
nerds.
If you're allowed to say that. And
Yeah.
I mean it in the best way.
Yeah, we are nerds. I feel
Yeah,
like.
obviously. And like a lot of fantasy and like a lot of that. So I just felt inspired by the vibes. I also found this edition of the book, which I personally think looks so cool because I really like the cover. It also has these red sprayed edges. And we all know me, I love red.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy I got this one actually. I've been meaning to read this series for a while. Not sure when I will get to it, but now I have the first book, so I don't really have any excuses for why I won't read it anymore. I am excited. I am genuinely excited. I've heard that it might be a bit difficult to get through because there's a lot of songs and stuff like that. So that's my final book.
Lovely. If you have to pick, which one is your most anticipated read?
Ooh.
Out of all of the books that you bought.
I'm excited about all of them now.
Yeah.
When I've finally talked about them.
Yeah.
Like, we've been home for 2 or 3 weeks, something like that.
Yeah.
And I haven't really
2
looked at the
weeks
books.
because I've been sick since we've been back.
Me too. I think I am, as I said, I am excited about Assembly.
Yeah.
Mainly because it's short, I think.
Yeah.
So it will be very easy for me to read this and get an idea of it quite quickly.
Yeah.
But mainly because this is a book I would never have picked up myself. I'm fairly certain about
Fair.
that. I got a bunch of weird books. I have no clue.
I think you have a good selection.
I have a good... This is
good
a
mix.
very non-typical selection for me, I would say.
You look great. Oh, you're so darling.
Which are your picks?
Well, I've started reading 2 of the books already, so I guess... Well, one of them felt like a good plain read.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy it, but maybe not my most anticipated. I think this one because it's short. Otherwise, it is this one, Our Wives Under the Sea.
So overall, pleased with your haul?
I'm very pleased with my haul, but
good.
I am kind of sad that I didn't buy that book.
Oh, I'll buy it for you for Christmas.
No, it's alright. I want to get the right, cover for it as well because I've seen my husband's. But I'm actually really happy. And you?
Yeah, I'm very pleased.
Yeah.
I was 9 books richer when I got home.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say to the audience?
Well, thank you for having me.
Great round of applause to Steffi for being here, for being such a good sport.
Thank you.
And letting me put you in my videos. That was very sweet of you.
It's been really lovely being here. And it was really fun filming and stuff for the Edinburgh vlogs as well. So this feels like this is like just the wrap up.
She's like a co-producer of the Edinburgh vlogs and also like co-film woman. She took a lot of the footage. So
I'm not a co-producer.
You kind of are.
I did film a lot.
Yeah, she did.
So thank you. And I don't really know how you...
I will end it, don't worry.
Okay. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you...
Jag gjorde inte det, jag bara slog i mitt glas. Okej, en gång till.
Thank you so much for... Thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope you enjoyed. Please take care and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye!
Cheers!
You gotta just go for it. Don't think about what comes after or what came before.